Amazon actually makes billions far beyond online shopping, because the familiar delivery box is only the front door to a business system that earns money from cloud computing, marketplace fees, advertising, subscriptions, logistics, and an enormous flow of customer attention. The store may be what shoppers see, but some of Amazon's most valuable economics happen after a product is listed, before it is delivered, or without a physical product being sold at all. In 2025, Amazon reported roughly $717 billion in net sales. That number is so large that it can hide the most important question: which activities produce revenue and which ones produce the strongest profit? Selling goods directly creates huge sales, but it also requires Amazon to buy inventory, store it, move it, handle returns, and accept the risk that products do not sell. Other businesses can generate less visible revenue with far lighter inventory requirements. The retail operation begins with two different models. In the first, Amazon buys products from suppliers and sells them as the retailer. The company controls the price and customer experience, but it carries the inventory cost. It is a collection of toll roads, subscriptions, warehouses, advertising space, and computing utilities operating behind one familiar checkout button. In the second, independent sellers list products on Amazon's marketplace. The seller owns the inventory while Amazon collects fees for access, transactions, fulfillment, storage, and optional services. This distinction is crucial. If Amazon sells a $100 product it owns, much of that $100 appears as revenue, but the company must pay for the product itself. If an independent seller makes the same sale, Amazon records only the fees it earns, yet it may avoid the cost of buying the item. Marketplace revenue therefore looks smaller than direct retail revenue, while potentially carrying more attractive economics. Third-party sellers also expand selection without forcing Amazon to finance every item. Millions of merchants test demand with their own capital. Successful products improve the marketplace, while unsuccessful inventory remains primarily the seller's problem. Amazon supplies the audience, rules, payment system, and often the logistics. The seller supplies the product and accepts much of the merchandising risk. The basic seller fee is only the beginning. Amazon can charge a referral fee based on the product category and sale price. A professional seller may pay a recurring account fee. If the seller uses fulfillment by Amazon, additional charges apply for storage, picking, packing, shipping, customer service, and returns. Inventory that remains too long can create further storage costs. Each service solves a real problem for the seller while adding another revenue stream for Amazon. Fulfillment by Amazon is powerful because it connects merchant inventory to Amazon's delivery network and Prime Promise. Sellers send products to fulfillment centers. Amazon stores the items, receives the order, selects the product, packs it, ships it, and manages much of the post-sale experience. For a small merchant, this can replace the need to build a warehouse and shipping department. For Amazon, one logistics network serves both its own retail inventory and third-party inventory. But logistics is not easy money. Fulfillment centers require land, buildings, robotics, conveyor systems, workers, electricity, maintenance, security, and sophisticated software. Packages move through sorting centers, aircraft, trucks, delivery stations, and last-mile routes. Fast delivery attracts customers, yet every promise creates operational cost. A poorly placed item or inefficient route can erase the profit from a small order. The final mile is especially expensive because one driver must travel from stop to stop rather than moving thousands of packages at once. Dense neighborhoods improve the economics by placing many customers close together. Rural routes are harder. Amazon uses forecasting to position popular inventory near expected demand, reducing distance and delivery time. The system becomes more efficient as order density increases, but it must keep investing to maintain speed. Prime changes the customer relationship. Instead of deciding whether delivery is worth paying for on each order, members pay a subscription and then feel encouraged to use the service more often. The shipping fee becomes psychologically invisible at checkout. Prime also includes digital benefits, which make the subscription harder to compare with a simple delivery plan. The subscription creates predictable recurring revenue, but its larger value may be behavioral. A member who begins a product search on Amazon is more likely to complete the purchase there. More purchases improve order density, attract more sellers, and create more opportunities for fees. Prime is therefore not merely a product. It is a mechanism that reinforces the entire marketplace. Advertising is another major engine. When thousands of sellers compete for attention, the most valuable shelf space is the first screen of search results. Sellers can pay to promote products when customers search for relevant terms. These advertisements appear close to the moment of purchase, making them highly measurable. A seller can compare advertising spending with resulting sales and adjust quickly. For Amazon, advertising has appealing economics because the company already owns the digital storefront and customer traffic. It does not need to manufacture another product or deliver another box simply to display a sponsored listing. The cost of running ad systems and computing infrastructure is real, but advertising avoids many of the physical costs associated with retail. This creates a remarkable cycle. More customers attract more sellers. More sellers create more competition. More competition increases demand for advertising. Advertising helps sellers win visibility, while the resulting revenue helps Amazon monetize traffic it already possesses. The same search page can earn from the sale, the seller fee, fulfillment, and the advertisement that influence the purchase. Amazon Web Services is even further removed from the delivery box. AWS rents computing power, storage, databases, analytics, artificial intelligence tools, and other technology to businesses and governments. Instead of every organization building and maintaining its own data center, it can pay Amazon for capacity when needed. Cloud customers typically pay according to usage, contracts, or reserved capacity. The model turns computing infrastructure into a utility. Amazon invests heavily in data centers, networking equipment, custom chips, power systems, cooling, security, and technical staff. Once capacity is available, additional usage can generate high-value revenue, although the company must continually invest to meet demand and update technology. Astames illustrates the difference between sales and operating profit. In 2025, Astawas represented less than one-fifth of Amazon's total sales, yet it generated more than half of the company's segment operating income. Amazon reported AWS sales of about $129 billion and AWS operating income of roughly $46 billion. Retail remains essential, but cloud computing has historically produced a disproportionate share of profit. Why can cloud margins be stronger? A physical order requires a product, package, warehouse movement, and delivery. A cloud transaction delivers computing capacity through software and networks. The underlying infrastructure is extremely expensive, but once built and efficiently utilized, it can serve many customers without repeating the full physical process required for every retail order. AWS also benefits from switching costs. Moving a complex business application from one cloud provider to another can require engineering work, testing, retraining, and operational risk. Customers are not permanently trapped, but changing providers can be difficult. This encourages longer relationships and makes reliability, security, and service breadth powerful competitive advantages. The cloud business carries serious risks. Data centers consume enormous amounts of electricity and require reliable power. Demand for artificial intelligence computing has increased the need for advanced chips and new capacity. Building too little creates waiting customers and lost revenue. Building too much leaves expensive equipment underused. Technology can also become obsolete quickly, forcing repeated capital spending. Amazon's ecosystem includes additional businesses. Subscription services generate recurring payments. Digital media attracts and retains Prime members. Devices can bring customers deeper into Amazon services. Grocery operations increase purchasing frequency, but introduce low margins, spoilage, and physical store costs. Each business is evaluated not only on its individual profit, but also on how it strengthens the broader customer relationship. This ecosystem explains why Amazon may accept thin margins in one area. A low-priced retail offer can attract a customer. That customer may join Prime, buy from a third-party seller, click a sponsored listing, watch digital content, or use another Amazon service. The original transaction can create value across several businesses, even if the product sale itself earns very little. Cash flow timing also matters. Customers often pay Amazon before the company pays many suppliers. That timing can create working capital benefits when sales are growing. Marketplace sellers and advertisers also pay fees within the system. However, cash flow must support large investments in fulfillment buildings, transportation, data centers, technology, and content. Returns are a hidden retail cost. A refunded item may require transportation, inspection, repackaging, discounting, liquidation, or disposal. Fraud and damaged products add further expense. Easy returns improve customer trust, but the convenience is not free. Categories with high return rates can look attractive in sales while creating difficult economics after the purchase. Counterfeit goods, unsafe products, and poor seller behavior create marketplace risk. Amazon must monitor listings, enforce standards, and resolve disputes without making the platform impossible for legitimate sellers to use. Too little control damages customer trust. Too much friction can push merchants elsewhere. The platform succeeds only if both sides believe the rules are fair enough to remain. Regulation is another major concern. Governments examine Amazon's treatment of sellers, use of marketplace data, labor practices, acquisitions, subscriptions, and competitive power. Rules that change how products are ranked, how fees are disclosed, or how services are bundled could affect the economics. A business built on scale receives both the benefits and the scrutiny of scale. Competition arrives from multiple directions. Traditional retailers compete on products and stores. Other marketplaces compete for sellers. Logistics companies compete for shipping volume. Streaming platforms compete for attention. Microsoft, Google, and others compete aggressively in cloud computing. Advertising platforms compete for marketing budgets. Amazon is not defending one business, it is defending several connected businesses at once. That complexity is both strength and weakness. Shared infrastructure creates efficiencies, and one service can feed demand into another. But management must decide where to invest enormous amounts of capital. A fulfillment center cannot become a data center, and a streaming budget cannot repair a delivery network. Wrong assumptions about future demand can lock money into the wrong assets for years. The central financial lesson is that Amazon's largest revenue source is not automatically its best profit source. Direct retail drives scale and customer habit. Third-party services monetize merchants. Fulfillment monetizes infrastructure. Prime monetizes loyalty. Advertising monetizes attention. AWS monetizes computing. Together, these businesses transform one customer relationship into several possible streams of revenue. In 2025, Amazon reported $80 billion in operating income across the company. AWS contributed about $45.6 billion of segment operating income, North America about $29.6 billion, and international about $4.7 billion. The figures show how important cloud computing remains, even as retail efficiency and advertising strengthen the other parts of the system. So Amazon makes billions beyond online shopping by owning the systems around the transaction. It earns when a merchant reaches a customer, when inventory enters a warehouse, when a package moves, when a member renews, when a seller buys visibility, and when a company rents computing power. The delivery box is real, but it is also a gateway into a much larger economic machine. The final question is whether that machine can remain efficient as it grows. Faster delivery, artificial intelligence capacity, global logistics, content, and regulation all demand money and attention. Amazon's advantage is the ability to connect infrastructure, customers, merchants, and data at extraordinary scale. Its risk is that the same scale makes every mistake expensive. Investors therefore have to watch not only sales growth, but also capital spending, fulfillment productivity, cloud utilization, advertising demand, and the operating profit produced by each connected segment. The company is not simply an online store.